In the last episode, we successfully completed our first foray into the ruins, and now our troops are, or some of our party are recovering from the various stressful things they saw. So let's assemble a new party and let's play the Darkest Dungeon. We can do not much else here. We already recruited all the troops from the stagecoach. We sent people to recover stress. So let's embark again. We'll still not go to the Darkest Dungeon, because that place will just kill us. Now this is actually a very useful charm to have. And this, not so much. Scouting is also always great to get. However, since we only have the Plague Doctor around... Okay, let's move this guy back here. Dismas will have to go... I think he'll have to go one row back. And we'll use Pashel and... this guy here, the leper. Scattering. Okay, what are you? Okay, no, we'll not use this guy. We will not use you. Yeah, that's okay, and that's also okay. You're good at the first two, you're good at the first two. That's fine. Okay, now the leper has a few interesting skills. He's very good at meleeing things. A bit unprecise, but still fine. Okay, we'll get the short quest here. If you do a medium quest, like this one, you gain one set of camping supplies, and you want to get some food to go with those. Okay, so we'll do the short quest because our Vestal is currently undergoing recovery, which means we'll only have very limited healing. So let's go into our provision. And let's buy a lot of things. 3 shovels should do. 3 of those should do. 4 of those. 4 of those. 12 of those. You'll sometimes want more than that, but I think we'll be fine. And a full stack of torches. That's all we're going to take along. And hopefully we'll get out of this alive. I really can't tell, but I'm hoping we'll get out of this alive. Yeah, the the tip there says Janet will not bleed, but they can be blighted. And that is indeed very useful to know, although we were already aware of that. And in fact, most boss enemies and other enemies also can be afflicted with damage over time. As far as I know, all the bosses I fought in my test game so far are immune to being stunned.
And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Well, I didn't have another place to begin except the Darkest Dungeon, which I'm not going to bother. Okay, so those urns can be cleansed with the holy water. So we'll loot them. A stack of books, we'll loot that with Dismas. Because we got an unsettling passage, and that's... bookcases are, or the book stacks are something you can't really...
Glorious is the trap maker's art, his efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
That's something you can't influence. I think you can burn them with torches. But aside of that, there is quite literally nothing you can do about them. So, you get a positive or negative thing out of it, and just in case it's stress, I tend to go with that for the reason I mentioned last time, which is that you can usually disable traps with a rogue-ish character. Damn it! Okay, let's see. Another unsettling passage. That's not good. We're off to a very bad start. It also takes away some light. We'll increase the light here, because I'm hoping for a scout check on the next room. And I was hoping in vain. Also, we'll probably get hungry on the way back. And some unburnt torches, why not? You can really never have enough of those. There's a damn amount of traps here. And look at all the stress we already gained from that. Look at it! We'll try to stun this guy. Because I really can't take more of those stupid tempting goblets right now. In this case, I think there's no reason to not go Hue on the enemies, because we want to get as much damage in as possible to all the enemies we can find. I also like how this the enemies all react differently to being attacked and being hit. Oh wow, we can do that. It does very little damage though, so we'll instead go with Retribution on the enemy that has not had his turn yet. We miss, and this guy is marked now, which means he will take more damage from certain attacks. And we got a crit, which was the last thing we really needed. Okay, it's time to... Wait, this guy gets his turn again. And that's why I went with Retribution. Okay, so we want to medicine this guy, so he'll stop bleeding. We'll try a Grape Shot. There's one kill. Can we get another in? Oh, don't crit on me. Okay, so this is why I brought such ridiculous amounts of food with me. Also, most of those trinkets have one downside. So then not all, or only very few of them are purely positive things. Most of them will affect you in some negative way, usually taking away some speed or some dodging chance. So you'll have to consider carefully what you want to take and what you don't want. Stop hitting this guy! Damn it! Yeah, you can hit that guy all you want, I don't care. Actually, I do care, but still. I'll try to heal again. And we'll do a... I'll throw a Plague Grenade, because screw it, why not? So, Grape Shot. All of them. And Retribution on... Actually, we'll just try to crush him.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Okay, and in the Plague Grenade, that might actually sort this out for us. There we go. Yes, it did sort it out. Okay.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can.
Those journal pages, you will find those in random orders. The others are those are blood-soaked pages torn from a journal. Number 5 of 6. The others are gone. They were victims of malevolent transformation. Their scales had rotted so soft to soft, vulnerable flesh, slowly suffocating without gills. The worst was their eyes, closed, set, and forced to squint through fleshy slits. I shudder recalling the horrific and unclean warmth of their blood as it rinsed my talons. I nearly retched. May death grant them soft mercy. Okay, I'm not sure what good is there in getting those. Also, this is one of the very few purely positive things, so we'll give this to our leper. We'll nick all the other stuff. Okay, we could leave this quest, because apparently you only had to do like a certain amount of room battles, and that this seems to have been the only room battle. But we'll still want to get this stuff. Hidden treasures. You can also contact a disease from that.
Gold, trinkets and baubles.
Now, the question is, do I want to continue this quest? Chances are we'll hit the stress threshold on this guy, so we'll just return, I think. Then again, it might be worth it. It might be worth it. We could still get more loot out of it. I'm going with... We'll risk it. I'll probably regret that. But still. It's like one of those times when you have to make this decision, and on the one hand we have this stressed out guy, on the other hand we need the loot. We need those heirlooms. We need all of the heirlooms we can get. And it's really important to get all the stuff. Also, I'm tempted to just shift those guys around, so maybe our leper gets attacked more than the man-at-arms. It's just a random hope, though. He might still catch most of the attacks. Okay, the contents are ours. We can gain more loot. Okay, if I use the holy water on this, I think we'll recover some stress. That was useful indeed. Okay, we surprised some maggots. Maggots are not too hard to deal with. They are a mild inconvenience, but nothing too bad, really. We should be able to take those out within one round if we hit.
Back to the pit.
Ooh, that was a good hit. A bit unnecessary, but I'll welcome this relief. Okay, now this guy we won't have to worry about. So we'll just... actually, no, we'll have to fight it. But yeah, the plague would kill it in the next turn anyway.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying.
And I'm trying to get the light high so we can get scouting. But it didn't happen, so screw that. And there's our hunger. We do recover a small portion of health, but it's usually not worth it. So it's not worth trying to use that to recover your health. But it is worth to do it just in order to keep going. And I think the downsides of not having food outweigh the positives of having it by far. Although there's one more room, so I'm hoping we can get some loot out of this. Oh shit, there's a madman. Those increase your stress a lot. And they're also not very far in the back, which kind of sucks. So I can't plague them. But yeah, we need to take out this guy, and we do need to do it fast. So I'll actually focus on him. So this, and I think he has his turn now. No, he doesn't. Great. Okay. The madman will be taken out now. So we can do retribution on here. I shouldn't have done that. I actually don't want this hero marked. Also, if an enemy dies to bleeding or to bleeding or to plague or to blight, not to plague, the corpse will disappear, so that there will not be a corpse. Also, we have to get this guy killed at some point. Luckily, health is automatically restored once you reach the hamlet again. Okay, so if we play grenade, we don't actually have to do that. So we'll just try to heal this guy up a bit. 1 point, but it's 1 point. Seriously now. So yeah, 1 point gained, 1 point lost. Kinda useless. Okay, that is the end of the battle for them.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
It is indeed a very good weapon if it cuts on its own. We'll take this stuff, we'll take that stuff, and we could take that. I don't think it is worth carrying it around. But it is definitely worth... what's the map like? Okay, we want to keep some of the food around. We want to eat a bit, so he recovers a bit of health. I guess I'll use up my torches.
The path is clear. We require
And actually throw this last torch away. So that's that. More heirlooms for us. We can take those with us. That's good.
Even the cold stone seems
I think
bent
the
on
last
preventing
bit...
passage.
Yeah, there's nothing more here. So we'll just enter this room and then we'll leave the dungeon. That was a good run. I'm glad I actually went for the additional loot.
Room by room, hall by hall, we reclaim what is ours.
I mean, I didn't have to, and sometimes you can find death in those, but it's still early on in the game, so I think it's kinda lenient on us. Let's see what we gained out of this. Lygophobia, which is bad. Ruins Explored is actually reasonably nice. And Fangophobia and Hard Skinned. And those are light related, and I don't really mind them too much. But yeah, the rest is bad. It's quite annoying. But still, no compulsive ones, so that's still okay.
Our family name, once so well regarded, is now barely whispered aloud by decent folk.
Okay, we gained the blacksmith and the guild, which are both very, very useful buildings. Let's check the stagecoach first. Yes, yes, and yes to all of those. Come on, move it. The divination is a bit special.
And reclusive. This man is more dangerous than he seems.
Okay, we didn't get text for the occultist, and now the jester.
He will be laughing still at the end.
Okay, I would like to get both of those upgraded once more. And Jester is one of those classes I tend to like having around because he can relieve stress. And 10 stress removal is good, it's really good. He's also great at camping because he has those stress relieving abilities. Now about those skills, we can upgrade the guild and the
Make no mistake,
thing here, the blacksmith.
Ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
So we'll get that first because we are going to do a fair bit of reskilling. Come on, move it. I'll just clicker, yes. So this also has a bit of fluff text for every hero, and I love that. Okay, so we don't want that. I want this, and I want that. Yeah, thank you. Then I want to remap the skills to those 4. Those are just the ones I find the most useful. And this is a stat that will cost us a bit of money. Actually, this guy has fairly good skills. There is very little to do. I mean, this is not the most useful one I know of, but it's okay if you don't have anything else to do. You can't train heroes who are currently busy doing something else. And as we've seen in the log here, Reynold has been inspired with holy worship and wishes to remain in prayer. So he will stay there for another week. Sometimes your heroes will also leave on their own for whatever reason. They will generally be back in 1 or 2 weeks, I believe. Well, let's keep reskilling people, because I tend to, as I said, I tend to know which skills I want to have around. So we want the Noxious Blast, and we want to trade that for the Incision. You can also upgrade your skills there, which is very, very useful to do. So I tend to use the Plague Doctor as my kind of Blight Bringer. You will learn Withstand, and you will gain Withstand right away. So, okay, you... I like having somebody to mark targets for the Bounty Hunter, because the Bounty Hunter is amazing if he gets a target that is kind of served to him ready. For any other cases, we'll want those 2 skills. Actually, it helps to have all of them. I don't need this one too much. Actually, let's unlock it too. Because sometimes there are cases when you definitely want to have it. So we want this, and we want that. Okay, now Defay. We'll actually have to sell some trinkets now. And I tend to... we'll sell this one, yes. We'll sell this one, yes. We'll keep this one for the Vestal. We'll sell this one, yes. And this incense goes to the occultist. Come on. Get there. You can never give the same thing to... what's that? Oh, okay. You can never give the same trinket to a hero twice, so I couldn't give 2 Chirurgeon's charms to the same Vestal. I can give it to another, but the same one can't get that skill. Also, this guy is pretty okay with the skills. Now, many of the occultist skills actually have a pretty massive downside. They will either cause bleeding or they will take away light. So what I want with this guy is the vulnerability hacks, and there was another skill I wanted. Actually, I don't care about the sacrificial stab that much. So this needs to go for that. Actually, no. We want this to stay, and we want this to come in. So the Occultist is more of a backline. He has a very, very powerful healing ability, which has a risk of causing bleed. So you want to be careful with it, but it's still worth it. It also has a chance to cure nothing, but still cause bleeding. So I think that's an interesting twist. Okay, you will probably not go on a quest right away again, but still. Also, you. I tend to want this, and I'll gladly trade that for the finale. Although this is pretty amazing, you can actually go solo, and then the finale to move back again. So this moves you forward, this moves you back, and I think this does a ridiculous amount of damage. You see 150% damage mod, so it does more damage. However, I prefer the adjuster to just cause bleeding damage and do the buffing and stress reducing. I actually want 2 or 3 jesters for that same reason. Okay, this guy will have all the skills because the Abomination is a pretty special class. Okay, we have this guy sorted out. You have not been sorted out yet. I actually like this one here. Okay, so you will forget Bellow and you will gain Rampart. Okay, I think that is all I want to change for now. Actually, no, I think Reynold is fine. So we could actually upgrade. We can't upgrade things.
Stands ready to make weapons of war.
And I don't. Actually, I will get this for now.
In the end, every plan relies upon a strong arm and
because we will spend a lot of cash on all of those things. And we can send one hero to stress relief. You're Flagellant. Okay, no, let's not do that. Let's see what you can do. Okay, we'll send you to Prey because that's the cheapest thing we can do. Actually, we'll check the tavern quickly. Who's over here somewhere? There we go. Okay, you can't drink. No, we'll go with Praying. Oh, we'll go with meditation rather. Okay, and next time we'll set out to another quest. Until then, bye.